Good morning, Illini. Welcome back to another Healthy Illini podcast. I am your host, as always, Matt Schrock, and I'm really happy you're here with us. I'm excited for this. We are full swing into the semester. Somehow, it's already October. Seems like I blinked and it was New Year's, and now we're into October. But the semester's in full swing. Activities in and out of the classroom, social activities, athletic activities, everything's going on. And we want to talk to you a little bit today about some of those activities and talk to you about student affairs here on campus. I'm joined today by two guests from Student Affairs. First up is Vice Chancellor Danita Brown-Young. She's been on the program before. Dr. Young, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Also joined by Chief of Staff with Student Affairs, Chantelle Thompson. Chantelle, thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me.
And I love being part of the University of Illinois. I love working here. I've been here about 8 years now. I grew up not too far from here. Well, I grew up around Central Illinois, but for most of my high school career, I was not too far from here. I've always been a fan of this campus. And so coming here was really a dream come true, working here. But even when I was growing up and before I came here, when I thought of the University of Illinois, it's usually academics or athletics. Those are the first things that come to mind when people think about that. You go to school to be a student, you come here for sporting events, things like that. But my entire time here in working at the university has been with student affairs. And really, honestly, I'm really proud of that. I'm proud of what we do and the things that we focus on here as student affairs. But in talking to a lot of parents and students, even if they're familiar with the term student affairs, they don't really know what that means. They know that's something that's not in the classroom, and that's about it. So I don't want to spend too much time because we could spend, an entire podcast series on what student affairs does, and we do the best we can with covering a lot of different things here. But just kind of as a jumping off point, if for somebody who's listening to the program, they're a new student, a new parent of a student on campus, and they hear the term student affairs, what does that mean, and what is the goal of student affairs here at UIUC?
Well, first of all, we're so delighted that you're a part of our team, number one. So student affairs is sometimes complex for people to understand, but it shouldn't be because we are the heart of the campus. It's not just the outside of the classroom experiences. We are really here to help our students kind of acclimate to life. We really put the health and the well-being of students first. We're making sure that we're advocating for them, that we're supporting them, and we're engaging them, because we really want our students to be successful in whatever endeavor that they choose and however that looks like, because each student has their own plan of what success looks like. So for us, it's really about how are we connecting them to this environment? How are we creating this sense of belonging? How are we engaging them in activities so that they are, being in activities, that they are doing research opportunities, but also challenging them so that they are growing? Because we want our students, again, to be healthy and well. We want them to thrive and not just survive on this campus. We know that students usually have a higher GPA, a better sense of this community if they are well-adjusted. And our student affairs team, I have the best team on this campus, across the nation, really and truly, because it's about care. We are a community of care, and that involves not just our student affairs professionals, but our academic professionals, our parents, our families, other students, to really surround our students so that they can be healthy and successful.
And I love that aspect of the acclimating idea on that, because throughout, my daughter is a freshman in college right now, so I'm doing this whole transition thing. I'm like living it as we go. But through your high school career, you prepare yourself academically in so many ways. But then when you get to campus, you learn a whole lot in the classroom, but you're learning a whole lot about yourself. And sometimes you haven't really prepared for that. And suddenly you're on your own. And suddenly you're here and you're in a world where you're making, for the most part, your own decisions. Most everything you can decide on. Obviously things like in the classroom, you don't get to decide when your exams are, but you can decide what classes you take, and do you go to class, and do you study, and then you talk about your health and well-being, what you eat, how you sleep, how you exercise, how you socially interact. All these kinds of things fall under the category of student affairs. And I really, the more I work here, the more I see how important that is, because we're the first thing you meet when you come to campus. Students come to campus and they don't start classes usually for a week, if not more. And so their first interaction with campus is things that fall under our umbrella. So let's talk a little bit about those resources that we have. some of the things that are going on, some the events that happen, and the things that, not just events, but the offices that are available or the resources that are available year round. What are some of the things that students should look for here at UIUC with student affairs, and some of the things that you'd like to highlight?
Well, we have over 18 units across our division of student affairs. And so that's housing and res life. That's here in the McKinley Center, campus recreation. It's our counseling centers. It is our Office of the Dean of Students, career, the Illini Union, student organizations, you name it. It really is student affairs, 9 times out of 10. If it's not an academic unit or the police department or athletics, it's probably student affairs. And we are on Urbana and Champaign campuses. But I think what is very special about our division is that we have cultural centers and houses, these spaces where folks can gather. And it doesn't have to be just that particular culture. It really is an environment where it's welcoming and respectful for all, and folks can learn about different cultures. Again, we're talking about these outcomes. When we're talking about student development outcomes, we want our students to become self-aware. We want them to be resilient. We want them to be independent and interdependent. We want them to really kind of learn about who they are, step outside their comfort zone. And I think these spaces allow that to happen. The resources that we have in the Office of Minority Student Affairs, particularly for our first generation, our low and limited income students, that those are some spaces. And of course, our counseling center, career center, there's so many places for people to kind of get help. We don't just limit it to one space. It is all of our spaces, again, do this caring nature and this framework. But it's also the wellness website. So if you don't know where to begin, we do have the wellness.illinois.edu website that has all the resources about how do you make an appointment? How do you get help for yourself or a friend, or, find out something about food insecurity. We've got food insecurity. We've got housing insecurity that goes on. And, we try to really capture the whole wellness wheel. Looking at mental health, physical health, your spiritual health, your finances. We do have a student money management center with the system. Most people don't know that because finances cause a lot of stress, So we're really looking at all those factors that could contribute to stress, anxiety, and try to help kind of alleviate those entities.
It's one of those things that there's so much. With the campus this size, there's so much information. There's so many resources, and it's wonderful. I've talked about it before on different programs. It's wonderful and horrible all at the same time because I love Quad Day. I hate Quad Day because Quad Day is wonderful because you see all the options. The problem is you hear all the options at once, and our brains can only hold so much anyway. It's one of those things where I've talked to students who are juniors and seniors about McKinley, and I'll say, "Hey, you should remember. I didn't even know this was." Well, yeah, you did. It's just you heard it in the mass influx of that first week, and it's hard to sort through that. So it's really important that we try and continually convey options that are there, but it's also important for students to ask, to find out. And really, it's one of those things that with student affairs, if you have a question, does this exist? Ask, because odds are it does exist. And if it doesn't exist and it's something that we can help with, I know the heart of the entire leadership all the way down is that we want to help. And so that's kind of one of those things that we talk about, thrive, not just survive, but also be flexible and focused on student success. And that's something you've talked about a lot. If you would just share just a little bit, we're going to step into the philosophical for a second. Is that the heart of student affairs? I mean, what is the philosophy behind your leadership in this and what you're trying to present for students when it comes to we want you to thrive? Can you kind of speak to that for just a moment?
Yes, absolutely. It's interesting you talk about students not asking questions and being afraid to really ask questions. And I try to convey to students and even our staff members, our team members, that a closed mouth does not get fed. So if you do not share what is happening, or if you have a question and you feel lost, then we can't help you. And you should not feel afraid to ask us a question. No question is a dumb question, so to speak. But we are here because we genuinely care. And so our framework, I talked about caring, It's about a CARES framework, meaning that we do try to focus on communication. We collaborate not just within student affairs, but throughout all the academic units and the community. We try to make sure that all of our programs, our services, our facilities are accessible, that we're holding each other accountable for the experiences, that we build up relationships. It's very important that, the students see us, right? We have to be out here. We have to be modeling what that well-being looks like. It's important that we also, and we're in a college campus, we need to be informed with research and data. But we are all educators. No matter what your title is, or if you're a student, you're an educator. And we really focus on excellence, eminence, and we're student-centered. And we have to be focused on the staff, making sure that they have the necessary tools to be successful as well and to help our students. But, again, I think going back to that, being a role model within student affairs, being present, being seen, involved, building up relationships with students also helps our students see that it is important to start taking their health seriously at this age, because it is about life learning. It is about what you're doing today is going to impact you when you get older. Trust me, I'm 48 now, right? So you got to make sure you are taking care of yourself and learning these lessons that are going to suit you well for the future as you get older. My grandfather used to talk about, nobody told me that it costs to get old, because, we got all these issues that happen. So if you can do some preventative work, then I absolutely would say that's what we're trying to do. I was on a quad yesterday getting my flu shot, and then we had campus recreation out there, and they were jumping rope and, wellness and medicine. And so that's exactly what it's about, showing just a little bit of movement every day, making sure you're staying hydrated, having nutritious food. If you have some special dietary needs, we've got inclusive solutions in our dining, and that we need to make sure that people are aware that we are here to help you in all aspects of your life.
That focus is so important because, we look at every student as an individual. We look at every student matters. Yeah. Every student is important. The difficulty in that is that every student is unique. And so when we're trying to serve every student, that's a whole lot of different options you got to look at, and different perspectives and backgrounds and things like that. And so I know one thing that we try and do as part of student affairs and across all those 18 units is cast a very wide net of a variety of things for students to get involved in, for students to feel supported by. So I want to take a moment and highlight a few things that are coming up in the next month or so that students can look for and be involved in. And if especially if as a student is like, I'm not even sure how to get connected, these are great starting points to build that relationship, to open the door for that relationship. That can go into something deeper, go in a different direction, because like I said, there's all kinds of options there. And again, there's so many things going on campus. We can't possibly highlight all of them.
Gosh.
Or
way too many. I know we can't keep up. Sometimes we're like double, triple booked, quadruple booked because there are activities.
Well, I know if it's anything like me, I'm like, start of the semester is like, oh, I got some time. October's coming, but that's okay. Well, October's here, and I'm like, oh goodness, things are happening.
I believe we're already in October. This is unreal.
And all of a sudden things are here that are happening that we were planning for. Correct. And we're like, oh, I got time to figure that out. No, we are ready. We are ready. So if you would, as October is hitting, what are some of the things that are happening on campus through student affairs that you would want listeners to be aware of, that they could get involved in, come check out, give them a chance to, again, get connected with campus in a way they may not have thought of before?
Well, I think it is fitting that we are kicking off October with our Illini Wellness Week. And so that will be next week, October 9th through the 16th. And so there's a website that will list all of the activities and events.
And I do want to remind everybody that we put all these links in the bio. So if you hear something, you don't have to try and write it down and be like, scramble to get it.
Oh, yeah.
We'll put all these connections in the bio of this episode, so you can find it there. Sorry, I interrupted just to get that.
I think that's great, because we need to make sure that people understand, like, they don't have to scramble and listen and rewind or whatever. But we do have the wellness fair that is going to be October 9th from 4 to 7, and that's going to be in the ARC Wellbeing Lounge. I think that is going to be something that folks are going to gravitate to. There's going to be lots of resources from across campus and in the community that is focused on, particularly student wellness. And the big mental health fair, that is going to be October 16th from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. in the Illini Union. And I believe it's in all the ABC rooms, but you will be able to find it in the Illini rooms. But different student organizations will be there. There will be some activities. There'll be some fun stuff like snacks and apparel. And, I think they're going to have some giveaways for some good merchandise for folks. And so I think it's just a cool way to learn how to stay healthy in terms of eating or drinking options. And then, of course, we focus on well-being even through homecoming. Homecoming is a time for us to really showcase and highlight the pride that we do have on our campus, and even bring alumni back to talk about how important it is for them to focus on wellness. And so homecoming is October 15th through the 21st.
And, I've been here now. October will be 8 years I've been on campus. I worked here on campus, and I've been to, I think, every one of these fairs every year. But every year I'm reminded when I go of, oh yeah, this is here, or oh yeah, this option here. Sometimes I'll find something I'm like, I didn't even realize that was a thing. And so for me, as somebody who's in student affairs, who is actively trying to stay up to date on all kinds of things, it's a reminder. The other thing is, I was talking to my daughter this past weekend about it, is that your students are a month into the semester now. That newness is worn off a little bit, partly because the assignments are slamming in, and the fatigue and that stress are coming. And it's a good thing to go to these types of events and be refreshed, to be reminded that there is help, to find things that kind of re-energize you a little bit, because the people who come and work these fairs, they're passionate about what they do, and that passion is contagious. And we've all done it in this room, that we've gone to something, a student affairs presentation or a meeting, and come out of it going, man, I'm ready to go again. Because it is, the day-to-day can grind you down a little bit, but when you connect with somebody who's passionate about what they do, it gives you that little bit of a bump. And, it's like, oh yeah, this is why I do this, or oh yeah, this is what I'm passionate about, or this is what I care about, and they care about me. And that really gives you that opportunity to jump ahead. So, it's not just finding out information, it's about that community. It's about that connection, that relationship that helps you step into the next thing that's coming in October and November, in the spring semester, things like that. And that's really what the heart of student affairs is coming alongside students so that we can walk with them in that. Because, let's face it, students who come in and are excited get us excited. There's that. I love the energy of campus in the fall, because after the summer's nice when I can drive through the campus and not have to stop every crosswalk. But it's nice when students are back, because you just really feel that vibe, and it gets you going all over again.
Yeah. In the summertime, for those who are not around on campus, we do get the flashing lights, so we don't have the full stoplight, so that does help. But yes, I agree with you. In the fall, the connectivity, that is what is very special and unique, that we do desire as humans. We need to be connected to individuals. And again, like we talked about, creating this sense of belonging, this community. And these programs are not created by us as student affairs professionals, but they're created by our students. They're the ones who create the programs, they implement the programs. Now, we're here to support them and kind of give a little bit of guidance, but the creativity, the innovation is all our students, because they care as well about their peers. And like you said, you just need something that's going to kind of pick you up. We're getting into these midterms. We're getting into fall. It's a little cooler. Well, today.
It'll get cooler, I promise, at some point.
No, you don't know what you're going to get.
We just don't know, but it'll get darker sooner. And so we know these are real issues that impact people in general, not just our students, but when folks, it's darker outside, they want to sleep in a little bit more. It's harder to get up. It's harder to get moving. We know that the stress of midterms is happening, and then we've got this series of holidays that will be happening, October, November, and then December, and finals. And so we have to be cognizant about that and really find these ways. How do you cope? How do you deal with the stress? Not just the one-on-one counseling that we offer here in the Counseling Center and in McKinley, but there are other ways for students to kind of relieve some of that stress and anxiety, that just not that one-to-one counseling.
And there, if you're listening, you can hear the passion in student affairs. You can hear how much we care about these things. It's not just jobs. It's not just directives that we have to do. If you don't care about students, you're not going to last real long in student affairs, because
No, you will not.
it's a sprint.
Not
And
on our team. not at all.
It's heavy responsibility with a whole lot of energy behind it, and if you can't fake that, it's really hard to fake. So I'm so excited, and I'm so blessed to be a part of this team, and I'm excited to see the things that are coming this semester, the things that are happening within student affairs, the long range plans, the short term plans, all of it. It gets me fired up again. So. Dr. Brown-Young and Chantelle, thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate you coming and talking with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
As the semester rolls on, it just picks up speed. And you talk to anybody who's out of school, out of that age group, and going, life just speeds up. It never slows down. But we want to help you walk through that path. We want to support you here at Student Affairs at UIUC. We have a whole lot of events. We have a whole lot of resources and units here. Check out our websites. They'll be in the bio. If you have questions, give us a call. You can call the Student Affairs office. You can call any unit and ask, and we'll be happy to direct you where you need to go. Call McKinley. Contact us here at Healthy Illini. We want to be a part of your journey. We want to help you. We want to answer your questions. We want you to know that what you're facing, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, that it's all important to us. And we want to make sure that we can help you with that. So thank you for joining us today. You're on a personal journey no matter where you are in it. You are important and you matter. Your health and wellness are important and matter. And we're here to keep you well to excel. So go have a great week, Illini. Let us know how you're doing, and we'll catch you next time on Healthy Illini.